Hello and welcome. I am the Croaking Shaman and this is my introductory guide to holding space. You might be here because you are interested in learning to hold space and giving strength to your own personal boundaries. Perhaps you already hold space for others as a therapist, a healer or support worker. You might be starting shamanic or rune reading classes with me. First, I want to talk a bit about what it means to hold space. What is it? Why it's important? Different ways we do it and the various aspects of it. We hold space in various ways in everyday life without thinking about it, whether it's comforting a child, listening to a friend's problems, looking out for someone, smiling at a stranger in the street, or simply bringing our focus back to ourselves on a busy bus. How we hold space in practical everyday terms depends on who we're holding it for, what the circumstances are, what is truly needed in that moment, and what is appropriate to where we are. But there's always an energetic component to it, an intention of focus and of care, a combination of energy and action or words. In terms of shamanic work, it is important to hold space for two purposes to facilitate two things: protecting well-being and promoting well-being, i.e. healing. Both these reasons are relevant and should be conscious priorities in all shamanic work all the time, whether we are assisting an earthbound spirit, reading the runes, meditating to ground ourselves, or performing a soul retrieval. That's protecting well-being and facilitating healing. Both of these, always. There are many things that support and strengthen the process of holding space, but aren't actually, in and of themselves, acts of holding space. They're the preparation work. An example of something that many people associate with the idea of holding space is burning sage. I'm not going to use the term smudging, as that is a very specific, closed practice of the First Nations people of North America and is much more than wafting sage around a room and people. But people tend to associate burning sage with psychic or spiritual protection. Burning herbs certainly does shift energy, change energy, and even attracts certain energies, so need to be used with care and discernment and respect. However, the act of burning herbs is not holding the space. For example, before and after a healing, I might burn some Salo Panto, rosemary, or sometimes juniper if things are really heavy, but not often because burning juniper also smells really bad. This cleanses the space and clears out the heavy vibes, the release stuff, the worries and stagnant energy that accumulate in the corners of rooms and around furniture. Sound can be used for the same thing, particularly singing bowls, Tibetan cymbals, and rattles. The smoke or sound is sweeping up the energetic dirt, but it doesn't stop more dirt from being produced and accumulating. It needs to be repeated to maintain a level. Smoke and sound are useful in preparation for space to be held. When a drum is used for journeying, the beat of the drum is the horse, the vehicle on which the journeyer travels. The drum is not the guardian who watches over the travellers, holding the space until they return. The space holder watches for unwelcome influences and signs of the soul struggling or becoming fragmented or lost. The shaman learns to simultaneously journey and hold the space for their own journey. A shaman must watch over and hold the space for others too. A shaman can divide their consciousness to do this and has many spirit allies to assist. One foot in this world, one foot in the other world is quite literal here. The heron with one foot up, calmly poised in focus and readiness. Journeying without properly held space can be a risky business. Journeying requires practice, spirit allies you know and trust completely, and caution with your wits about you. I strongly advise against the use of psychedelic substances, especially when administered by those without real experience, understanding, or skill. Ayahuasca can be the shamanic equivalent of using a Ouija board in a haunted house. So back to our preparation for holding space. After cleansing the room and self with smoke or sound, a next stage often used in preparation is grounding and centering, orienting ourselves to help our busy minds and tired bodies literally remember which way is up, where we are in the space we're going to hold. There are a couple of meditations on my YouTube channel which cover grounding and centering, followed by mindful balancing. This clears, realigns, and replenishes you as a channel, calms your energy down, and brings you into the moment so you are aware of what is going on with you right now. It is so important that we know what our own stuff is right now so that we don't project it onto anybody else. Colour meditations and golden starlight, not silver, meditations are great for this. These are meditations rather than journeys. You're not leaving your body or going anywhere. You are connecting deeply within yourself, within your own body. They do not have the same managed risks as shamanic journeying. What I like to call maintenance preparation includes things like regular journeying or journaling or talking therapies. These help us to stay grounded in self-awareness whilst practicing kindness and understanding towards ourselves so that self-awareness and exploring tricky emotions become comfortable practices for us. Other regular practices to equip us to hold space effectively can include any activity that helps us to step into personal empowerment, to focus on our strength, and to become comfortable taking up space. This could be listening to or singing a powerful song, dancing, enjoying a hobby, or spending time in nature. Something that has strengthened my ability to hold space has been martial arts. Martial arts are excellent for teaching you how to access and harness your inner power and to master it. Things that bring you joy, activities and interactions that boost your confidence, being well rested, learning to say no to people, and developing other personal boundaries are all essential. Some power animals or totem animals are enormously helpful for assisting in holding space. If you practice connecting deeply with a power animal energy, you can learn how to shape-shift your energy to take on the strength or the qualities of the animal. So there are two reasons it is important in shamanic work to hold space. The first is to keep at bay all the energetic things that hinder the work and threaten our integrity and well-being. Unhealthy power dynamics, attachments, interfering energies that don't have our best interests at heart, mischievous spirits, self-doubt, fault-finding, and unkindness are just a few examples. So this is achieved with a combination of energetic space holding and establishing and maintaining firm, good, clear boundaries that protect everyone's interests and well-being. The second reason is because this work can bring up and brings out emotions, stress, fear, even trauma that has been trapped in the body and the aura, causing blocks and illness, and it needs out. This is shadow healing, and it can be uncomfortable, difficult at times, but is essential, powerful, completely worth it, and beautiful. The rising emotions need a compassionate, powerfully healing, and determinedly transformative space to birth into. It is no good trying to just mentally visualize passively popping our pain into a cosmic dustbin as though it was a crisp packet, or asking the body to release it when prompted without letting the mind catch up and be reassured. It needs to be owned and processed in an empowering yet straightforward, conscious way, in a nurturing space of integrity and courage. A space that is trusted and good, safe and comfortable. When this fear or grief or anger or pain or horror comes up and out, it needs to be allowed. Allowed without being quieted or fixed, denied, dismissed or explained away as a fleeting dysregulation or disruption. It needs to be allowed, transformed, healed, the wound in the energy field repaired, replenished, integrated, protected and nurtured going forwards. This means getting comfortable with uncomfortable feelings, not unpacking and setting up camp in those uncomfortable feelings or deliberately creating them for yourself or anyone else, but acknowledging and respecting them. Listening to what our soul is asking for as we gently name, understand, feel, transmute and metaphysically burn away each one with golden breathing and golden tears. Tears and breaths that restore our boundaries, our purpose, our hope, our peace, our excitement, our pizzazz. So, we've got the protective, discerning bit and the allowing bit. We're using our intuition to balance discerning boundaries and allowing flow. The protective bit is what we do whilst our spirits are journeying, connecting and communing with the spirit world, with the gods. The allowing bit needs to happen both during and afterwards for as long as necessary, which usually isn't actually that long. So how do we do it? How do we actually hold space energetically? There are many different visualization techniques out there, but the key thing is that the space holding, like the emotions that rise, need to be felt. You will need to allow yourself to really feel the visualization as you see it. You direct it with your intention, with your will. If you have done a lot of completely get rid of your ego work, you might find it really tricky at first because your will is part of your ego and you would need it for this. But with determined focus, you can master it. Not forced focus, but allowed focus, gently permissive focus. It's more than aiming for a sense of peace, and it isn't achieving an empty mind. It's a movement of energy through you, beyond you, and out into the space around you. It's a feeling of resilience, of soft strength, compassion, responsible ferocity. It has elements of fierce protectiveness, not aggressive defensiveness, but mama bear safety in the den protectiveness. Elements of calm, of comfort, of warmth, upliftment, and oodles of courage. It is unattached, agenda-free compassion. It is sacred love from the earth, our home, not as an abstract concept, but as a tangible, real, felt energy, an instantly accessible energy. What space holding is not, however, is a substitute for physical boundaries. Although if you're well practiced, it can certainly add confidence to acting on your physical boundaries. It can help give you the strength to say no and the courage to walk away and to stay away. Holding space won't stop the house being burgled, though, if you don't lock the door. And it won't stop someone from being unkind or from trying to use you. It doesn't change or control people, but it can create a space where the unkindness and the energetic hooks and punches find it really difficult to land. So are you ready? Ready to practice holding energetic space? This is a very short and simple beginner's exercise to practice to start with. So start with this. Don't overthink it. We do it fairly fast, not slow like a meditation. We do it fast and purposefully with clear, resolute intention. Keep your eyes open. Look gently at the space, at the room you're in, whilst feeling what I describe. My intention is to hold the space. I am Yggdrasil. I am the golden tree. I reach down to my roots. I feel her power through me, in me, of me, and as I rise, I am the golden tree. I feel her, the gold in me, through me, around me. The golden branches spread outwards and fill the space. Her roots spread from my feet. The golden mycelium covers the floor and meets other trees. I maintain my integrity, and so do they. I maintain my boundaries, and so do they. While the gold of Yggdrasil pulses through me and them. Now the branches return back to my space, return back to me. Golden acorns fall as the branches return. I gather the acorns up and I place them here in my belly. I am here, I am here, I am me. The rest of space holding, the aftercare, is really just courage and compassion. Thank you for listening.